Like, I don't know that he would.
I'm gonna make both of them men straight.
What if I told you Garp's right-hand man, that silent swordsman beside him named Bogart, is actually the founder of SWORD, the Marines' secret Black Ops division, and that his entire character hides a clue straight from Hollywood history? In One Piece, Oda tends to base the top Marines on legendary movie actors. Aokiji on Yusaku Matsuda, Kizaru on Kunie Tanaka, Akainu on Bunta Sugawara, and Fujitora on Shintaro Katsu. All of these men have shaped the Marines and made a major impact on the world of One Piece as a whole. And Bogart? He is inspired by Humphrey Bogart, the classic film icon from Casablanca and the Maltese Falcon. Bogart's roles were always the same: cynical idealist who rejected corrupted systems but still fought for what's right. I believe that's exactly who our Bogart is, a Marine who follows conscience over command. At God Valley, Bogart fought beside Garp when the Rocks pirates fell. He saw the truth. Civilians wiped out, Marines forced to protect celestial dragons, and the world government erasing everything afterward. That moment shattered his faith in the system. After it, Bogart decided to act. In the shadows, he began recruiting Marines who thought like Garp, ones who ignored orders that betrayed justice. Bogart built a secret task force, Marines who resigned on paper but still operated freely. They could defy orders, infiltrate Yonko crews, and take on impossible missions. No rules, no masters, just justice. And he named it SWORD because while the Marines act as the shield for the world government, SWORD would become a blade for the people. One serves control, the other serves conscience. Members like X-Drake, Koby, and possibly even Aokiji all carry that same fire: Garp's moral will and Bogart's discipline. So while Garp became the face of moral justice, Bogart became its architect. Now some might ask, why not Garp himself, or even Sengoku? Well, Sengoku was far too busy serving as fleet admiral, a man bound by duty, bureaucracy, and the weight of the institution. Even if he had the ideals, he didn't have the freedom to move in the shadows. And Garp, it's just not in his nature, in my opinion. Garp is more like Luffy than anyone else. Loud, direct, and allergic to hierarchy. He's a man who fights with his fists, not with paperwork or secret ops. The creation of an underground commando unit simply doesn't fit his in-your-face temperament. But Bogart, Garp's most loyal, quiet, and calculating shadow, fits the role perfectly. He's the kind of man who would turn Garp's chaotic ideals into structure, building an entire system around the freedom his mentor stood for. In chapter 1165, Roger asks Garp to join his crew. Garp refuses, not out of loyalty to the Marines, but because if he quit, no one would be able to protect the rank and file from the monsters like Emu and the Celestial Dragons. Garp knows he can't abandon the institution, because his very existence inside it is a shield protecting the world from true darkness, which means he could never have created SWORD. He must remain inside the system. So Bogart created SWORD for him. He modeled it after Garp's ideals. SWORD operates by its own unwritten code. 1. Reject orders that betray conscience. 2. Act on moral justice, not political justice. 3. Defend the innocent, even if branded a criminal. And 4. Serve no celestial dragon ever. These 4 rules are why SWORD members can move freely, even against Marine orders, are disavowed if caught, protecting the institution from blame, and can infiltrate pirate organizations or rebel forces undercover. To the world government, SWORD is a plausible deniability unit, but to Bogart, it's a rebellion disguised as obedience. So if Garp was the hero of the Marines, then Bogart was the architect of their rebellion. God Valley taught him that the system could never protect the people. Only those who disobeyed it could. So in the shadows, he forged SWORD, a brotherhood of wildcard commandos, a rebellion of free men. While Garp took the spotlight, Bogart built the foundation. While Garp inspired the rebels, Bogart organized them, as a tribute to the justice his role model stood for, and to his namesake from Hollywood. What y'all think about that, man? A lot of Bogart gas without a lot of context. He need to do something.
Bogart top 5? And I am. Shout out to my boy Bogart.
I don't know. I feel like he's got to play some role. And I think a lot of it came from when I was talking to people about who they think created SWORD. They were saying a lot of Sengoku. To me, like, does Garp creating SWORD sound right to you? That's not who he is. That's not his temperament. That's not what he's like as a person, like creating a secret operations unit. That's just not him. He's not organizing these people. But Bogart, we don't know nothing about the guy. And I always looked at it as Bogart creating this in Garp's image. Marines who would do the type of stuff Garp would do, but aren't Garp.
Yeah.
They still need some sort of structure. They still need something to cling to. They're not the strongest Marine in the history. You know what I mean? They need some sort of unit to give them guidance. So if I'm Bogart and I'm Garp's right hand, but I could never be Garp myself, how do I emulate that, right?
No, I actually kind of liked it. Will Oda write it that way? I don't know. But to me, Garp, he's not one to do that. It's kind of the point where I said before, remember a while back where I was explaining the difference between like even just Luffy and Roger? And how we got that whole explanation about the last island, all the pony glyphs and all that stuff from Roger. Saying what he needs to do is saying, and it wasn't from like someone else on Roger's crew, it was from Roger. And I was like, this is something we'll never get from Luffy. Luffy's not gonna break down to you, oh, this is what we need to get down to Laugh Tale. Luffy's not that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? He's just the guy, I'm just gonna go do it. Where Roger can make out the plan. Garp is similar in that way where he's just like, yo, I just show up and I wreak havoc. That's who Luffy is. So going to I think where it fits Bogart, the only thing is like, did it say that Odazone was
No.
the first person to sword? It didn't.
People just said that because he was infiltrating a pirate crew at some point.
Okay, because that was my first thing. Like, hey, wasn't he the first one? But it makes sense if he wasn't, right? What adds to your storyline? I was shocked when I first read that Koby was part of Sword, and I was thinking in my head because we all know Koby's dream. You want to become either Marine Admiral or Fleet Admiral, but you're part of Sword. This is like you already handed your resignation to the Marines because of your standing and what you want to do. How does that work? How can you do both? But then you also have Garp saying that he's protecting Koby because he views Koby as the future of the Marines, and we hear Gus saying, "Am I the future too?" But he didn't look at Gus that way. He mostly looked at Koby that way. Kind of like Koby's going to be the one to hopefully change the Marines to the image that Garp has. I said before too, when I realized Garp's stance, this comment he said to like protecting them is what I viewed Garp later on. So I said it on the podcast too, what Garp is. He's the example of what the Marines should be. Nothing more, nothing less. He's like, Marines, we protect civilians and we fight pirates because their pirates are evil. That's what Marines should be. Not all that political sides, not being under the celestial dragons, what the world government has, all that corruption. He goes, no, that's not what the Marines are about. It's about doing our duty to save the world and protect civilians from pirates or any other force that is evil, disrupting the peace. Garp's supposed to be that symbol, that example in that way. Where all the Marines kind of like, they kind of want to align with the world government because higher authority or whatever, they believe that's the world power. But Garp's like, nah, like he's very open about how he views about that even pirates like Rox and Roger and everyone and Harold could see, and other people could see Garp stand against them. So going back to Koby, that he chose Sword, where Koby sounds like he was similar, because what we know of Koby, he would not align himself with the world government at all with how they do things. Because same reason why Garp is a Marine, we saw Koby share that same element. I want to protect civilians. Simply put, that is Koby's whole purpose. I want to save civilians. So I can see where Bogart playing that deeper role in that aspect of being not necessarily the mastermind, but putting together, because we saw that Bogart respects Garp that much. Like that's almost like his, not idol, but like that's the person he looks up to. It's like, all right, how can I give back to Garp what he's done? And he probably shares, if you're with Garp this way, you share your sentiment, what the Marines should be. So how do you shape the Marines to what they should be, even though they're under this ruling power that's corrupting the Marines? You develop your own fraction, so to speak, but not taking them out of the Marines, but solely gaining people that have that same focus. You know, so I can see where that's the purpose of Sword.
I just need more from Bogart to make that make sense. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm gonna sit here and be like, yo, it was well done. But is there seasoning on it? Nah. Did it come with mash and broccoli? Nah. Did it come with a drink? Kinda. But was it cooked good? Yeah. It was really good. It was done very well in the kitchen. I could admit.
With no seasoning?
For me, it's like, yo, Bogart on God Valley. Bogart really not on God Valley. Bogart was drawn to be on God Valley. Official comes out in volume. He ain't on God Valley. He's shown to be walking with Garp. You know what I'm saying? But he ain't really saying nothing. Throughout the series, his greatest accomplishment has literally been training Helmeppo and Koby.
Sword members, by the way.
Sword members. Cool. Other than that, the boy has just been non-existent. When it comes to people that hold factions who oppose so heavily to the main story and the main cause, they're going to be called out. I feel like Koza and his rebellion against Alabasta got more play or more substance than somebody like Bogart does with Sword. And if Sword does include Akainu because of his tattoo during that one cover story, then you could be like, yo, Bogart above him? Like, Bogart created Sword and he was a part of it? You know what I'm saying? The thing is, like, it sounds good. It does sound good. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it don't sound good.
Okay.
I just think that it just lacks the ingredients within the show itself. So I'm not hating on it. I congratulate it, but I need Bogart now to do his thing.
He got to live up to it.
Yeah.
He got to earn it.
Sometimes when I look at the story, and I only look at this through narration, how important you are to the story with what you're doing? And does that correlate to what's happening now and to others. And if it doesn't, therefore you're going to get pushed to the side to a lesser degree, more so than the others that deserve this highlight. And I just feel like he don't deserve that highlight, dog. I'm sorry, he don't.
Yeah,
you made him sound cool. He looked cool.
He looked cool. He got the admiral naming nomenclature.
Like, put it this way.
He got that.
Let me ask you this question, right? Rayleigh Gabon, they left the Roger Pirates in order to go back to Roger, who's fighting rocks. Do you honestly believe in your whole heart that Bogart is going to go save Garp?
Shit, somebody gotta go get him.
I'm asking
Somebody
you.
gotta go get him.
Do you think it's definitive?
Definitive is crazy. Anything definitive with Bogart is tough. But if anyone's gonna go back
What's the
there,
likelihood?
it's like over 30%. Yo, because the thing is, if
I thought you were gonna say 60 or 80.
Nah,
You
so
said
I was
30.
I wasn't gonna go 50, but my reasoning for this is if Roger is getting Rayleigh and Gabon to come back for him, somebody on the Marines is supposed to be coming back for Garp too, because they both survived this and they both exit out of whatever situation. And based off of 1165, it was basically stated we're not gonna be able to move after this. So somebody's coming back for Garp, whether it's Dragon or Bogart or some other random insert Marine. Could be Sengoku pulling up. Suru, who knows? But Bogart is there. He should be that.
He should.
For them. I would like to think he's that.
Same.
I'll even go 60%.
Are you convincing yourself as it goes
A little
forward?
bit, yeah. A little bit.
It's probably just gonna be Gabon already.
Just picking up Garp for it.
Dude, same way where Luffy told Zoro to save Smoker, and Zoro's like, what? He goes, he's not a bad guy.
I actually might like that.
Roger's gonna be like, yo, Gabon, all right. Save Garp. It's like, Garp.
Roger gonna have his Goku moment. Don't kill him, Krillin. Don't kill Vegeta. We need to show him we're better.
Yeah, kill me because
Which does happen.
I actually really like that mini parallel with Garp, Roger, Luffy, and Smoker here.
Okay, so the
But
chances now?
It's back down to 30 something. It's back down, man.
My point is that it just doesn't seem to have that type of importance on his character.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I basically did this to give his character importance, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we naming him after Humphrey Bogart, one of the most iconic actors in film history, if he's just some guy? Which I guess that's par for the course with Oda. But for every other person in that light within the Marines, they've had significant impact on the story. So I was like, let me give Bogart something. This could be that something. You know?
He's as important as Hina is, bro.
Oof.
If we being real, bro.
Until he ain't.
I'm telling you, bro.
Until he ain't,
He's just
man.
as important as her, bro. I'd be surprised if he's even more important than Saul.
Saul's a pretty important guy.
I know. But at this point, where you talking? Bogart should be like next in line for Admiral.
Would have been nice to see. I would like to see it.
Yeah. But shout out to Bogart.
Yeah, shout out my boy, man.